Hello, coin collectors out there. Welcome back to the Big D Coins channel. Hopefully everyone was having a great day as always. In today's video, we are going to roll through the 1960s. 60, 61, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And we'll tell you what coins to look for in the 1960 Lincoln Memorial pennies. Most of these years are not very valuable. However, there are a couple of different era coins which we'll kind of try and highlight and tell you to look for. We've also got these €2 coins. We've got a €1 coin and a €2 coin. So as part of the foreign coin showcase at the end of the video, we'll flip these over and we'll show you what they are, and hopefully you'll like the design and think it's pretty cool. Now let's get into this one. We'll start with the top deck right here, the 1960 up until 1964. I'm going to move them over a bit, and we'll get them all in one shot, and then we'll get into the mintages and the value of these. So as I mentioned earlier, most of the mintages on these are in the billions, and I've done videos where I just roll off number after number after number, and people don't seem to like those too much, so I can understand why. The numbers are just so high, and it gets a little boring. So we'll try and keep it as concise and as fun as possible, starting off with the year 1960. What you want to look for in 1960, there's actually a difference between a small date and a large date, different variety coin that we have here in 1960. This one right here is the large date variety, but the small date variety is the variety coin that is rare, and that is worth $3 at a mint state 63 RB grade to it, compared to this one right here, which is just worth 20 cents at a mint state 63 red brown designation. Now obviously neither of those are worth getting your coin graded, but you can certainly sell those on eBay in a raw condition without getting it graded. Just take good photos of it, and people will be able to see what you've got. And if you've got that small date, people might be interested in it. There is also another variety for 1960. There's a large date over small date variety. I don't have any photos of these, but if you think you've got an error with the date, or your date looks smaller than other 1960 coins you have, look into it a little bit further and you could have a valuable coin there. Interestingly, the 1960 and 1969 are the two most notable errors in the series, or varieties in the series. So they kind of bookend the 1960s with some pretty cool coins. On to 1961. Now this is where we'll just go through these quickly, but we've got billions and billions of 1961. They made a 1961 Philly, a Denver in 62. They made the Philly and the Denver, 63 Philly and Denver, 64 Philly and Denver. All of these are in the high hundreds of millions or billions that were produced. We will move these aside. Now we'll get into 1965, 66. I've got a very rough one right here, which represents 67. Then I've got a 68, and I've got two 69s, because 1969 is the most interesting variety in the entire series. So on to 1965. Remember 65, 66, and 67. There are no mint marks for any coins that were made in those 3 years. There was a coin shortage, so they took out the mint marks for those 3 years. And as a result, they made them all with no mint marks. Billions of them were made, so there will be no mint mark errors, and there will be no difference between Philadelphia and Denver or San Francisco mint. Moving forward to 1968, we bring back the mint marks. So we've got a Philadelphia 1968 that was made with 1.7 billion, 2.8 billion for the 1968 Denver mint. Just 258 million of them were made for the San Francisco mint. So 1968 is the first coin that we're talking about today that has a San Francisco mint version, but the mintages are much less than the Denver and the Philadelphia mint. So hang on to that 1968 if you're trying to 1968S if you're trying to build a collection, because that will be the hardest one to find for you. All right, I've moved everything else aside except for the 1969, and that is because this one has quite an interesting story to it. The 1969, there was actually a bunch of fake versions of the 1969 double die obverse coin that were made. It was the 1969S double die obverse coin. And there were two people who made them. They were Roy Gray and Morton Goodman, and they actually made about 2,900 of those fake versions. They sold them to a coin dealer who then sold them for about $30 each. So they netted $92,000 by making these fake double die obverse pennies. That obviously landed them in a lot of trouble. But then what's pretty cool is what happened in 1995. There were actually some authentic versions of the 1969S double die obverse. And what makes those so cool is that there's extreme doubling is evident on all of the obverse lettering and numbering. Usually you only see it on a little spot here and there. Sometimes it's just doubling on the date or In God We Trust. But this 1969S double die obverse has doubling on almost all. Extreme doubling is evident on all obverse lettering and numbers. And this one actually sold one of the craziest amounts you'll ever hear of, $126,000 for a 1969S double die obverse that sold at a March 2018 Stax Burroughs auction. So these are official auctions that have, known payers and a documented kind of trail behind everything, and that was a PCGS certified coin that sold. So $126,000. Can't believe it. That is quite a lot of money for a double die obverse coin. Obviously, the population of these coins is very limited. PCGS says that there are 15 of these in total out there. All right, we talked about the 1960s. Now let's move into the foreign coin showcase portion of the video. We've got a €1 coin on the left. Flip it over, and it is Germany. €2 coin, flip it over, and guess what? It is Germany as well. What makes these German coins interesting compared to the other euro coins is that the German coins actually have a mint mark on them. So for our €2 coin, we see an F mint mark right there, and then 2002, we see a mint mark right here. As far as the mintages on the €2 coin, in the year 2017 at the F mint mark, just one second as I pull those up, there were 14,640,000 of these that were produced, of these €2 coins dated 2017. Now, 2002 is going to be a little bit different of a story because that's the first year that the euro coins were produced. 2002 at the A mint, wow, there are quite a lot of these that were produced. 367,895,000 of them were made. So we've got the 2002 €1 coin right here with the A mint mark. We've got the 2017 €2 coin with the F mint mark. To recap what we talked about with the 1960s pennies, keep your eye out for 1969S doubled die obverse, as well as the 1969 small date lettering. So 1960 small date lettering, 1969 doubled die obverse for the San Francisco Mint coin. All right, everyone, that's all the info that I've got for you today. Enjoy and best of luck coin collecting out there.